r/ProRevenge. 3 strikes and you're out? Cool, I got this. I work in sales, and we work as a team. I have an assistant who helps me get leads and set appointments. Well, this one particular assistant and I did not get along at all. This particular assistant kept going to my boss behind my back to report every little incident, which is really fucking annoying. Part of my role as the senior rep was training, however this assistant was a former business owner and knew how to do the job and didn't need no help. Well, the appointments the assistant set up had an 80% no-show rate, which is insane. In the past, no-shows would be around 25% to 30%. Not only that, this assistant would constantly argue and bicker over everything, which was really frustrating to deal with. This assistant also created their own lead card and tracking system which completely sucked and crap fell through all the time. Furthermore, about half of all contact details provided didn't actually work. But what really irked me the most is this assistant constantly sucked up to my manager about all the great things they are doing. My manager was in love with the assistant and kept preventing me from firing the assistant and replacing them. Now, our company had a little known policy: 3 ethic complaints in a 12-month period and you're fired. Here's the deal though, for a customer to file a complaint they had to go to a specific page on our website. So very few complaints ever got filled. One day I roll in 10 minutes late. My assistant had called my manager to complain that I was late. My boss asked me why I'm late. Keep in mind we didn't clock in or out, and I often would come in early or stay late. To come in late once in a while was no big deal, but it was annoying knowing my assistant had a habit of constantly going behind my back and ratting me out on top of their shitty production. We are supposed to be a team. I asked to do a review of the assistant's leads. We got 3 leads deep and my assistant huffed and puffed and said the leads belonged to them, not me, and it's none of my business. Actually it is. They then called my boss to complain about my behavior because I was pushing them to complete the lead review. My boss called me and I straight up told him he needs to give me the authority to fire this assistant or I'm going force his hand. He told me I needed to learn how to work with my assistant. So I pulled up all of the assistant's leads and began dialing. One thing that would justify an ethics complaint is opting in a lead for a call when they didn't want to be called, which I suspected I could find at least 3 instances of. I called all of the leads and I got 9 people who straight up said we never intended to be opted in to be given sales calls, to which I replied, "Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. We actually have an ethic complaints page for such a situation. Would you like me to forward you the link so you can file a complaint? It would really help us ensure this kind of thing doesn't happen again." Within 48 hours my assistant had gotten 5 ethics complaints. My boss called me 72 hours later stating, "It's really strange we've gotten a slew of complaints about your assistant. Did you have any part in this?" Well, you see, my assistant refused to conduct a lead review with me, so I called all their leads for them. On a few occasions the lead claimed they didn't intend on providing their information for sales calls, so I simply sent them to the link to file a complaint. My boss said yay, well, now I'm forced to fire the assistant. I simply smiled and said, "Oh, that's really unfortunate. I'm so sorry to hear that." He confided, "I guess you won this one." I said, "Not a problem. I'll go ahead and post the new job ad." My next assistant was much better and way easier to work with. Neighbor almost paralyzes our cat, so my dad gets him fired from work. So when I was kid we had a cat named Friday. Friday was a young outdoor cat, only about a year old. I was playing with his kids when my mom brought me home. To my horror I discovered our cat next to the cat door bloody. My dad took him to the vet and they said he had little chance of walking again. My little brother told my parents he had seen him kick our cat. My dad wanted revenge and luckily knew he smoked weed in his backyard. My dad tipped his work he might smoke weed and his work drug tested him. And his car didn't leave too often after that. BTW, our cat Friday is 9 and a healthy boy now that can walk but can't move his tail. You have been visited by the neckbeard Fedora Nice Guy. Leave a like and subscribe or he will attack you with his katana.